Hello everyone, Coffee Mug here. I just finished up some finishing touches here on my Fulgora intermediate stage base here. So I had recently got my electromagnetic science finished up, going 1800 signs per minute. And then I did add these rocket parts I get shipped in. They just come over here and I just do direct insertion into the rockets. So each of these rockets can shoot up about 2,000 per minute. So this is capable of doing about 8,000, even though I'm only producing 1,800. So a little bit overkill, but that's okay. So that's finished up. Then over here, I made a little production center on this island. What I did was I just kind of shipped in every one of the raw materials, plus things like the superconductors, plates, supercapacitors, and accumulators. Other than that, I'm just shipping in all the raw materials as tight as possible, and these just go into provider chest, passive provider chest. And then over here, I'm just doing a bunch of upcycling, trying to get legendary quality equipment. So it's most important thing right here is my quality modules. I basically have 9 of these regular quality 3s, and then I have 3 of the uncommons, one of each of the higher qualities. And I've been really just building a lot. I've been using my legendary ones to upgrade other stuff, so that's why it's a little low now, but I've probably already made around 200 or so of these quality modules. And then I'm just upcycling everything else that I need. Here I got recyclers going. I'm up to around 220 of these legendaries, which would be nice. I got still only about 50 of these, but I just, I spent about 100 just getting this base ready, so this will take a while to build back up. But it's slowly getting there. It's just waiting on copper wire, which I forgot to make. Let's see. Over here, I'm doing my upgraded supercapacitors. These were kind of weird because I did ship in supercapacitors right here. I'm like shipping in ones from my big old supercapacitor factory because I only needed like 2 or 3 of these to provide enough supercapacitors for my factory. So I have a ton extra, and that's why I'm using those for upcycling. And I'm trying to get legendaries ones of those, and mostly I want legendary of these so I can take the excess and break them down into the legendary superconductors and legendary aluminum plates. And so once I have this set up here, so once I get to 500 of these, let's actually do the right quality. It'll insert these into this recycler, and then I'll start getting legendary quality extra of polonium and superconductors. And then I will need these for other things. Then I have up here, I'm working on my legendary accumulators. I got a good amount. I did place a bunch up here recently just because I needed more power. So that's still about 120 though. This is increasing quickly. Then over here, I got my electromagnetic plants. Those are just pumping out. I got a good quality of these legendary electromagnetic plants now, about 160, so it's moving along. I am working on some legendary Tesla turrets, although this is going kind of slow. But it's getting there. This is not a huge priority. I wanted to get a small collection, particularly for Gleba, because these work very, very well against those pentapods, so I probably only need like 50 or so of those. We'll see how many I actually use. So that's kind of the end of my Fulgora base here. It's all wrapped up. I'm producing everything I need to, make my 1,800 signs per minute of electrochemical science. I'm getting all of my legendary stuff over here. And, kind of interesting thing about this base, even though I am doing all that upcycling and using all that raw material, I'm like barely using I'm barely using any material. You can see here the stuff that's still being produced. I am using a lot of blue circuits, but most of the stuff I'm not really using a lot of, particularly the polonium. It's keeping up. I have way more than enough stored. It's just polonium's kind of short, and the batteries seem to be a little short right now. Or generally, it was the batteries that seemed short, but now I'm using a ton of polonium for my upcycling, so that's why the polonium's kind of short right now. Yeah, this what this tells me, though, I will say that what this tells me by looking at what this base looks like now is once I really kind of scale up to like true Megabase stage, or I'm doing probably like 10,000 plus, I probably do not need a recycler like this on my base. because they're really, I think what I'm going to end up only really needing is like collodium, batteries, and stone. I think those three are going to be like short on everything, so I can like optimize this even further and get rid of like this much of these inserters. This is a ton of inserters. I'm a little worried about the UPS cost from all of these. It gets too bigger, but I hopefully won't have to worry about it too much because I only really need to extract like collodium, batteries, and stone, which I think will not have nearly the UPS cost. So I may have to think about how I redesign this. I'll have to think about how I redesign this for even further and further higher value megabases, because I don't think I actually need any of these other materials at that point. So with that being said, I wanted to start thinking about my Vulcanus megabase. And so as I was getting ready for Vulcanus, I did actually start getting a good stockpile of these big miners or legendary big miners and legendary foundries. So I wanted to actually move right ahead to legendary equipment instead of going to rare like I did for the other 6 sciences that I had been working on. So I pulled up my planner here. This is what I've been working with. So the end goal is to be, again, about 2 fully stacked turbo belts. For some reason I have it set on 5. Let me fix that. There we go. All right. So I want to get 2 fully stacked turbo belts. So I was playing around with the factory that I want to build here. And again, just thinking of my original goal of getting up to at least 1800. A couple things about metallurgic sciences. I think this is probably one of the easiest one of the games, except for maybe like red science. So the stuff you'll need is calcite, tungsten, and your molten lava, basically, which you get from a pump. And so the tungsten and the calcite, those just come from the ground, right? You just plop your big miner down and ship them in. You'll need coal, which you got to ship in. The molten lava just comes from a water pump in the lava. Sulfuric acid you can get with the pump jack, so this is just kind of like oil. You don't even have to do any like post-processing with the oil too. So very easy to get the stuff you need. You don't need a stone because that just gets dumped in the trash. Then when you look at all of the other things that you'll need, so I had to set here, I've been playing around with the number of beacons because I want to get 2 full belts, which is 28,800. Eventually, it's kind of my ultimate goal for this base. And so I was playing around with the number of beacons and trying to see how many foundries I could get. I was trying to get an even number, because generally I find even numbers are a little better from a build standpoint. And I also wanted to see if I could, like what kind of beacon arrangement I could put around my factory to kind of like, almost like optimize resources effectively. It does, I do have a lot of these legendary beacons now, but I am kind of short on legendary modules. So I won't be able to build this completely out yet, but I'm going to be able to do way, way more than I need. So I'm probably going to go like above and beyond what I did for my intermediate base and kind of almost go to like an end game base already. Or at least a fraction of an end game base. So what I did is I put legendary everything. For the miners, I just put efficiency in. I'm at like mining productivity 200 something, so I don't really need productivity in the miners anymore. So I'll probably do like a single beacon on my miners, and you really don't need that many, right? So you need like 16 and 1, easily attainable. But for my science, this is kind of the main one. I currently have it set for 4 beacons, which means I need 16 machines. If I scroll all the way down to 1 machine, this hits 1935. So that was kind of crazy, right? Because my Fulgura base, if you just watch the end of that, I think I hit like, I have limited the output by the belt. And so it only does 1800. So I can basically complete this build with only a single foundry and make enough to where it's not going to be limiting. However, I may as well just build a little more because I do have 20 or 30 of these legendary ones right now. And I really need to get this scaled up because I need to start getting like legendary tungsten and legendary tungsten plates, which is kind of like a slow process. And I gotta really pump out the legendary stuff to get more legendary miners and legendary foundries. So I was playing around with the number of beacons to try to see what might be a good option. So with 4 beacons, it'll take 16 machines. If I pop it down to 2, let's see, how many was that? It was 20 maybe? 22 I would want. So I think definitely want to go with 4. I think that's actually a pretty good big cost reduction. And I even went up to like 8 or 10 because these are 5x5 structures. I think I can get that down even more. Let's see, where was that one at? That one used 10. So I'm kind of deciding right now. I'm not really sure if I want to do a 10 beacon build or a 4 beacon build. It's kind of interesting how little, right, the way the new beacon scaling works. Like here, if I use a 10 beacon build, I need 10 machines, but if I use a 4 beacon build, I only need 16 machines, right? So this is, I think this may actually be the route I want to go, and basically have 4 beacons for each foundry. I can pop 2 on each side. They'll be really easy. And then I only have to pipe in 2 belts, right? I'm gonna have a tungsten carbide and a tungsten plate belt for each of these, and I can probably do these in like stacks of 4, I think is what I was planning, or maybe 8. No, I'd probably do stacks of 4. I'd do like 4 stacks of 4 to get up to 16, right? Because if I do a stack of 4 like this, I can fit all of the tungsten carbide on a single belt and all of the tungsten plates on a single belt. And then if you go up any higher, you start to get kind of weird ratios, or even 8, right? You start to get more than 1. So that's why I think doing 4 rows of 4 is probably where I'm going to end up. And then eventually I'll ultimately end up at 16 when I'm done with the base. And it's really not too many more. It's like so little. If you look at how little you need, right? Four foundries for the science. This right here, also this is making 7,000, so that's a lot. Or 7,700. I only need 4 legendary tungsten carbide buildings, a fully moduled cryogenic plant. You only need 2 of these. That's minor, so each mine. Tungstens, you only need 6 of these foundries, right? And then 3 foundries making the molten iron and the molten copper, right? And I had a number of beacons here. I haven't settled on the correct number of beacons yet for these. I'm still kind of playing around with those. I'm not really sure where I'm going to end up. Plus, I'm not sure I have enough of these legendary modules yet, so I may have to pop in rare modules. But I know that this is going to be kind of my what I'm going to shoot for this time. I think I'll be able to make a stack of 4, or I may even drop it down to like a stack of 2. But I think what I'll do is I'll plan for a stack of 4, and then I can kind of make like a blueprint that's, I'll probably do like a linear, almost rectangular type blueprint, and then I can just repeat that 4 times once I have it settled. So I think that's my plan. And then if I have to use some rare or epic modules in here instead of legendary, because I don't know if I'm going to have enough yet, I'm like way overshooting anyway, and I'm gonna have way more than the 1800 that my other bases are producing, and then I can always come back once I kind of do my final like sweep through when I'm getting up to that 28,000 level. So so that is my plan for Vulcanus. It's I think this is gonna be honestly a very, very easy planet. Just because of you need very few resources that you have to mine. You get so many stuff from the lava, right? This is going to be, I think, a really easy build. But I was planning it out. I think it's probably going to just take like 2 episodes to get up to here. One to set up power and trains, and then another to actually build and get it launched. So thank you for watching. If you're curious about my build or how I'm going to ultimately decide to build this, please leave a question in the comments. I appreciate the subscribing. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers this year, so I hope you subscribe and follow along. Even if you don't watch the videos, I would appreciate if you subscribe. And thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next episode. So you can see here, this is my Megabase planner. One thing I noticed, let's start up. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is, now that I'm done with Fulgora, I do want to get Vulcanus set up. And the reason for that, again, is I need modules, right? So I was doing this very simple upcycling thing here for these modules. It's just moving so slow. All right, this has been running for quite a long time now, and I still hardly have any of these legendary quality modules. And the reason really is I don't have this legendary tungsten carbide. And so I need to get my Vulcanus base set up to really get that tungsten carbide quality values anyway. So that's just taken forever with the way I'm doing it now. So I wanted to get that done because in order for me to scale up everything, I need modules, and that just takes so long. And so I really need to get like modules started before I really do anything else. So that's why I wanted to, that's why I wanted to get Fulgora finished, because I need these legendary quality modules, and then I want to get Vulcanus, is my Vulcanus base here. I wanted to get this finished because I need my legendary tungsten carbide for my legendary speed modules, because I'm going to need a ton of speed modules. This has been running for a while, and I do have starting to get a good quantity of legendary foundries and legendary big miners. It's moving slow, right? This isn't really optimized in any way, this upcycling I've been doing. And I've been really kind of moving kind of slow, so I don't mind it taking so long, but I do want to get a better legendary production setup for these. But I got enough of these foundries that when I start doing my base planning, let me pull up my factory planner here. Okay, so here is my factory planner. You know, I have been trying to get 1800 signs per minute for all of my different sciences. And I wanted to see what would happen if I kind of look ahead to what I might need when I get up, because my goal of this base was about 30,000. So I figured I would do foundries that have either, probably max out the number of beacons, legendary beacons at the high end. And so what I did was I came over here and I plugged in all of my information that I needed to set up my buildings here. And I did one metallurgic science building, and I gave 16 foundries, or 16 beacons with 2 modules. So that's roughly the size that these can be. I think if I did the math right, 1, 2, 3, I may be able to get more. Let me actually think about this. See, sometimes I doubt myself and I want to double check. So do I even have beacons out here yet? Let's just place the beacons anyway. So I'm going to be able to put basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 over here and 3 here. So this is, this can fit 16 beacons, kind of like this. And this is like the maximum amount of beacons you can fit around a foundry. So that's why. So you can see here, this is what a 16 beacon setup would look like on a foundry. It's kind of the maximum number of beacons. I know once I get to the very end stage of my base, I know that this is probably the setup I'm going to try to work out. And so I wanted to start thinking ahead, even though I was originally going through and trying to get everything to 1800, because I got a good quantity of these legendary foundries now, I can really just kind of jump right ahead to the legendary on this particular base. Unfortunately, I can't do that for like Gleba and Quillo, because I haven't done the upcycling I need for like biochambers and stuff, but I got it ready for this one. So basically, if I took one of these and made 16 beacons, this goes all the way up to 3,800. I only need one of these foundries to do that. And I was thinking, okay, well, how many am I going to need when I eventually get up to like 30,000? So I start increasing the number of machines, just kind of seeing how many it takes for me to get to here. And it looks like I'm going to need 8 machines to hit my target roughly. But this is a little overproducing, because when I use, my goal is effectively is 2 fully stacked turbo bells. So this is more than I actually need. And so what I did was I adjusted it down to 1 beacon at a time to get it as close as I could get it to 2 beacons without going over. So this is dropping it down to 15 allows me to still get 2 fully stacked turbo belts. So I think this is what I'm going to do, is do a 15 beacon build. And so what that will look like is basically I'll probably have something like this, and I'll just have a gap here in one of those, and I'll probably just have like the science like come out the middle like that, and that'll, I think, look pretty good. It'll be, I think, aesthetically pleasing, and it'll probably work out well as far as how the build ends up being. So I think 15 will be a good number of beacons here, and it fits in well with my plans for the future. But I don't really need that much yet. So if I back down to a single machine, that's kind of what I'm going to shoot for now. I'm going to head over to Vulcanus, set up a base with a single legendary foundry producing science, and that should not be a problem whatsoever. And so the reason why I think this will be very, very easy is this science needs very, very few things, right? We need tungsten plates, tungsten carbide, and molten copper. Molten copper is, incredibly easy. You just pump in lava and give it calcite, and you got tons and tons of lava. I mean, the hardest part, I think, is going to be disposing of the stone. But then other than that, you need tungsten plates and carbide. If you look at how much you need less than half a belt of each. So really, I can just have a stacked turbo belt, single tech stacked turbo belt coming in with whatever I need. And I may actually just not use the split belt, because I think that'll look better with the 15 beacon setup. So if we kind of have a look at here, so what I might do is have let me change this to the right thing. So this metallurgic science. I'll probably have like tungsten carbide come in here, just like this, and have like the one on one side be carbide, the other side be the tungsten plates, and then pump in the molten copper here, like from the back or something like that. And that way it'll be kind of symmetrical, right? And then I can have just the inserters here like this. I think that will probably work really well, and I think that'll look kind of nice, right, nice and even. Now what this will be great for is when I get up to where I need 8 of these now, this actually makes a really nice kind of stacking layout like that. So I think what I might do is see if I can make almost like a linear build going this way, and see if I can fit everything in this like column shape, and then I can like basically just take my column, which may be like this right here, and then just kind of repeat the columns like that. So I think that's kind of my plan of how I want to approach this. And so if you look at kind of the other stuff I need here of tungsten carbide buildings, I only need 2 of those, right? That'll be really easy. I can put one on each side of the belt, and then I can just bring that belt in. Tungsten plates, I need looks like just 2.9, so I might do four foundries for plates, and then again just like one on each side. And this one, I remember thinking one beacon goes from like 49 foundries to 3, right? These single beacon builds are so awesome, man. These single beacon legendary builds are like something else, man. I tell you, I'm like so amazed at how much productivity like building reduction you get just from using these. Same thing with here, although with the carbide, I noticed this having just that single beacon was also very impactful. So I'm going to just do a single beacon build. I don't think there's any benefit to doing more than one beacon. Like you could maybe get this down to one building, but at that point, is it like really any better? Not really a lot. So I don't know if it's particularly worth it. Or I could just do like 2, because this right here will be enough to feed 3 different foundries effectively. Now that I think about it, so I can basically use like 2 of these to feed 3 metallurgic science foundries, right? So I could probably even go up, if you look at this, if I go up to 3 foundries, so if I go up to 10,000 science per minute, maybe I don't need like, that's not enough to do 3 foundries, but I can put all that on a single belt, right? This is still less than a single belt. And so I can probably have just like one dedicated setup that maybe feeds 3 of them, or maybe 4 of them. yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of thinking about how I want to do this, but this would be really easy, right? Coal, I'll ship in from a train. I'll make carbon with in the cryogenic plants. I'll have that full of productivity modules. I won't really need a lot of those, so that'll be nice. That's really easy. This carbon just needs sulfuric acid and coal, right? Coal I can just train in. Carbon or sulfuric acid comes from the mining pumps, and then for tungsten plates, all you really need is tungsten ore and molten iron. That's going to be really easy. And then all the stone I just have to throw away. Then the rest of the stuff I basically just get from mining. So this will be a very, very easy place to scale up. Like this is going to be incredibly, incredibly easy, I think. Now that I got everything I need to do it, yeah, it's going to be easy. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this set up to do, basically what I want is one full belt output instead of half a belt. I'm just going to go all the way up to a single belt for now. And then, that'll be it. This is my plan. Single foundry, stack it with beacons that are legendary, and it'll be good to go. So that's my plan for Vulcanus, and that's what I'm going to be doing next. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate all of the likes and subscribes. I've gotten some great comments and great questions. I always encourage everyone to ask questions if you're curious about the builds I do and how I'm planning stuff. I've always I have been trying to kind of explain how I build my builds, and hopefully I hope that's valuable for you. Let me know if it's not, or if there's something maybe you want other explanations. Let me know. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next episode.